If there's a fault on our network, it might mean your power's been interrupted. Even if the fault's been fixed and your electricity has been restored, sometimes the fault can reoccur and you might find yourself disconnected again. We call these intermittent or transient faults, as you could experience a short loss of power a couple of times without there being any obvious cause. So how do we make sure they're fixed as quickly as possible for you? Sometimes, a fault on our network will cause a fuse to blow in one of our local substations, which causes a power cut. If this happens, our team of engineers will visit the substation to take a look at what's going on. They'll usually replace the fuse and restore power to your home or business as quickly as they can, just like you would with a blown fuse at home. However, if it's a transient or intermittent fault, it could happen again. And because we manage a complex network of underground cables, it can be difficult for our engineers to work out exactly where on the network the fault is and where they'll need to dig up the cables to make repairs. We monitor the frequency of these faults, and if your power is interrupted a few times, we have a sophisticated technology to make sure you get back on as quickly as possible. Our expert engineers will swap out the normal fuse for a sophisticated version, which means we don't have to wait for you to tell us your power is out. They're smart enough to recognize that there's been a fault, and after just 120 seconds, they can automatically restore your power. What's also important is that they help us to measure the current and provide an estimate of how far from the fuse and substation the fault is. Once our engineers are on site, they'll take a look at all of the data we've collected and look at our maps that show where the underground cables are. This helps them to work out the underlying fault location. It's not always straightforward though. Sometimes there has to be a process of elimination to locate trickier faults. This is done by inserting a probe into the ground where they think the fault might be. These probes pick up signals being given off by the fault in the cable, and by using these to pinpoint the location of the fault, our engineers will then decide on the best way to fix it. This can involve repairing or replacing the section of faulty cable, and by doing so, ultimately means the same fault won't happen again, and all of our customers can get back to enjoying a safe and reliable electricity supply.